Well, it looks like things are definitely changing more than we previously thought, as Marvel Studios' Kevin Feige has confirmed that when it comes to how they're going to be pushing the advertising, marketing, and release of Spider-Man No Way Home, it's actually something that this time involves Marvel Studios and Disney directly, unlike the last entries in the MCU. So when it comes to the early days of the Spider-Man deal, meaning Spider-Man Homecoming and even Far From Home, Marvel Studios was not directly involved with the marketing of those films. That was all on Sony's side of things. So when they decided to drop news pieces, when they decided to drop posters, interviews, anything including the teasers and the official trailers, that was all down to Sony. Marvel Studios and Disney had no say because they weren't really financially invested in it. Now, ever since that new contract was worked out after Far From Home, there is now more incentive on both sides. So recently, while doing the rounds and doing interviews, Marvel Studios' Kevin Feige revealed some details that paint a different picture between the studios working together. And he said that now both are talking to each other and they're both very well aware of when things are going to come into play and when upcoming releases will be made, so nothing catches anybody off guard. Now, in my opinion, this is great and this is how it should be, because you don't want problems out there. And again, we go all the way back to before Far From Home. We know that Sony was looking to drop the trailer before Avengers Endgame, which would have caused massive spoilers. So due to Marvel Studios and the spoiler nature and everything, they were able to bargain with one another and say, hey look, release it after Endgame comes out, but you have to realize you gotta put a spoiler tag on there, and then they did. So now that Disney and Marvel Studios are more directly involved, they can control the message to make sure that other spoilers stay under wraps, or even use the typical Marvel Studios fake scenes, fake CG, and, throw in fake things all over the place and try to misdirect people, which I think is honestly great. The more that they can try to toss us off their trail, and the more shock we have going into the third film, I think the better it is for everybody. And in my opinion, I think this is something that's been a long time coming, because again, they don't want to look like they don't know what they're doing and look unprofessional by spoiling other things. Now, apparently this doesn't involve the other Sony films, which makes sense because we don't know how involved, if at all, Marvel Studios is with them. But I guess in due time, we'll find out, and then we'll see what the next step is. It would be my assumption if Kevin Feige was involved with Morbius or something directly, he would go, yeah, let's not put Michael Keaton in there. That'll cause confusion, unless there's a plan.